Have you ever looked up at the sky after a rainstorm and seen a brilliant arc of colors stretching across the horizon? A perfect blend of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, as if nature pulled out a giant paintbrush and swept it across the sky. But what exactly is a rainbow? Why does it appear? And why are the colors always in the same order? Let's take a closer look and break down the science behind one of nature's most magical displays. To understand rainbows, we need just three ingredients: sunlight, water droplets in the air, and the right viewing angle. After it rains, the air is often filled with tiny droplets of water. When sunlight enters these droplets, something amazing happens. The light bends, bounces, and spreads out. This combination of bending and bouncing is what scientists call refraction, reflection, and dispersion. Let's break that down. Light travels in straight lines until it passes through something like water or glass. When sunlight enters a raindrop, it slows down and changes direction slightly. This is called refraction, and it's the first step in forming a rainbow. Because sunlight is made up of many colors, each with its own wavelength, each one bends at a slightly different angle. Red light bends the least, and violet light bends the most. This bending is what begins to separate the white light into different colors. Once inside the raindrop, the light hits the backside of the drop and reflects. It bounces off the inner surface like a mirror. That's the reflection part. The light now heads back toward the front of the droplet, but it's still inside the water. Now comes the final step. As the light exits the raindrop, it bends again. Another refraction. And because each color bends differently, they spread out even more. The result? Each droplet sends out a tiny beam of light that's been split into the full spectrum, red to violet. But here's the cool part. Only certain rays from each droplet reach your eyes, depending on the angle you're viewing from. That angle is usually about 42 degrees from the line opposite the sun. That's why rainbows appear in a circular arc, and why you'll only see one if the sun is behind you and rain is falling in front of you. Because of how light bends and how each color bends by a specific amount, the order of colors is always the same: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Just remember, Roy G. Biv, a handy acronym to recall the color order. Every raindrop is sending out all these colors, but your eyes only catch the ones coming at just the right angle. So in a way, you're seeing your own personal rainbow. No two people ever see exactly the same one. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you might see a double rainbow, a second fainter arc above the main one. That happens when light reflects twice inside the droplet before it exits. This extra reflection flips the color order. Red is on the inside, violet on the outside. There are also rare supernumerary rainbows, faint bands inside the main arc caused by the wave-like nature of light. They're harder to see, but they remind us that rainbows are not just beautiful, they're also complex. Rainbows aren't just limited to rainy afternoons. In Iceland, you can spot them near waterfalls. In deserts, they can appear after rare downpours. In cold climates, ice crystals can create halo effects that resemble rainbows, even in snow. Different cultures also interpret rainbows in beautiful ways, from myths and legends to symbols of hope and unity. Rainbows are more than just pretty arcs in the sky. They're living demonstrations of physics, showing us how light interacts with matter, how angles shape what we see, and how something as ordinary as raindrops can create a stunning visual effect. So the next time you spot a rainbow, remember, you're witnessing the result of millions of tiny droplets, each acting like a tiny prism, perfectly aligned with the sun and your eyes. And that is pretty magical. Thanks for watching Easy Science Lab. If you like this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe for more science explained simply. And next time you see a rainbow, take a moment to smile, because now you know exactly how it works.